Oh well, here we go again. Now I'm not a big Trump fan, never have been, and certainly won't vote for him. But I think the guy's getting a rotten deal. I have never seen such yellow shit journalism, and we talked about this during my last rant. But this CNN, they've got not a goddamn thing to do. The easiest thing in the world is to get Gergen and a couple of these other fools sitting down talking about, prognosticating about Trump and his rallies and every other goddamn thing, rather than going out and finding some real news. Now, the other night, um, a black man was being removed from a Trump rally, and some old white fool, 74-year-old guy, clocks him as he's going out of there. Now they're blaming that on Donald. Now listen, there was 20,000 people there. No one could have prevented this old fool. Just while they're walking this guy out nice and peacefully, what happens? This 74-year-old leans over and clocks the guy in the side of the head. Now, to Trump's uh, credit, he disavowed that. And not only that, but this guy later was arrested. Now, there's a rally tonight that has just been postponed because they're afraid of major clashes because there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of protesters squeezing into the same rally, and they're afraid of maybe a riot or something. But why would there have even been a chance of a riot? There wouldn't had they had not these yellow journalists just went apeshit bananas and saying, oh, this is a travesty and how dare and it wouldn't happen to anybody else's and Trump, the people asked to be sworn in. It wasn't his idea with the raising of the arm. And of course, the news media refers it back to Hitler Youth. Now, why inflame an incident that had nothing to do with the Hitler Youth? I mean, it's so freaking absurd. And there's a couple of real bitches on CNN that do nothing but all day long today complain about the violence at the Trump rallies. You got 25,000 people there. You, you could put 25,000 people together anywhere. And I guarantee within 5 minutes, somebody's going to be fighting over something. It's just absolute nonsense. And that whether they should boycott CNN or just people ought to just start writing them, emailing them, telling them this is pure bullshit. To get on there and attack Trump because a couple of punches were thrown in crowds of 20,000. He's getting the biggest crowds of anybody. And and they never film the crowd except if some protester gets roughed up or something, then bam, and all cameras go on that. Otherwise, you never see the fact that the place is just jam-packed full. But this yellow crap shit, poor excuse for journalism, I shouldn't even use the term. There is no journalism today. All it is the cheapest way to keep your viewers is to sit there and prognosticate about something they don't know a fucking thing about. Their predictions have all been shit ass backwards, and yet they call them in and call them authorities. Well, there are no authorities. Trump is setting the Republican Party upside down, and they're doing everything, spending tens of millions of dollars to disrupt him and to make people think he's a nutcase. Now, I think he's a little bit of a nutcase myself. But he, in all likelihood, if he takes Florida and Ohio next Tuesday, there will be absolutely no stopping him. But to pick on this man when all they do is praise people like Cruz, who's a Bible thumping idiot, never goes to his job. He's almost as bad as Chris Christie. Now, Chris Christie, there's a big major strike going to take place this weekend in New Jersey Transit, and where's Christie? He said, well, after working so hard, he took he's taking a week off and going someplace to celebrate him and his wife's anniversary. The son of a bitch hasn't been here at all. He spent 70 days in New Hampshire, and he's a disgrace. But anyway, let's get back to the main issue. That we got to stop this yellow journalism. We got to stop trying to take every little minutia and blowing it up till it's the size of a friggin' mountain. You know, for what purpose? Just to fill the airways with a big crock of shit because you don't have the balls or you don't want to spend the money to send people down into Syria, to send people into Turkey, into Kurdistan, to find out just what the hell is really sick in this world. You don't send any reviews from Africa, and Africa's being turned on its head. It's amazing. And people will sit there and you can turn it on 5, 6, 10 times a day and it's the same bitch, bitch, bitch. So if CNN, I mean, they ought to just get out of the news business because they're not delivering news. They're delivering cheap, paid for, prognosticators that don't know their head, from their ass, and what comes out of their head is really coming out of their ass.